Hey guys, Dark Island Spit here, back with a new video. This is just gonna be like responding to comments on my nihilism is wrong, it's the wrong answer video. And before we begin with the comments, I just want to bring up the term nihilism. So I just want to show you guys the definition of nihilism. So, and then I will then respond to the comments that I received. So let's first bring up nihilism, right? The definition. So here's the the noun version of the definition: the rejection of all religious and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. Okay, and then here's a philosophy definition, which I think is the most important thing right here: is the extreme skepticism maintaining that nothing in the world has a real existence. Nothing in the world has a real existence. Okay, let me repeat that again. Nothing in the world has a real existence. Okay. I mean, first take the time to have your brain process that, and then have logic process it and be like, well, that's bullshit, okay? Saying that nothing in the world has a real existence. Well, obviously pain and suffering is real. I mean, it's not coming from my perspective. It's not coming from my dog's perspective or wherever. No, it's just that's reality, okay? So, and if you're a sentient being with a brain, you will experience pain and pleasure. More than often, sometimes even more pain than pleasure for some people, That's what I'm trying to get at, is the fact that the only thing that fucking matters in this reality that we're living in is pain and pleasure. Our comfortability, our value negative feelings, and our value positive feelings. That's the only thing that matters. That has meaning in reality. Why would you then say, or try to make rationalizations on that by saying that life is meaningless and that nothing in the world has a real existence? Have you ever broken an arm? Have you ever seen someone have a broken arm? Have you ever seen someone have cancer? Do you know that cancer exists in this world? Do you know that torture exists? Have you seen torture? Do you know that, people get sick? It's just like all these things, like you should understand that, like, and it should like instantly click in your head, like, yeah, nihilism is pretty stupid, right? I mean, it's not even close to the answer. Okay, it's the wrong description of reality, because of course, and I like all these examples I can give and stuff like that to demonstrate that it's just wrong. It's not right. It's not a correct description of reality, and that's what philosophy is. Philosophy is to describe reality using sciences and evidence, right? And to back up your claims and stuff like that. And another thing I want to talk about is the fact that we don't feel. We have no purpose. Okay, that's a fact. We have no purpose. Okay, and people want to say that our purpose is to replicate and reproduce. But there's no purpose in that, because you're missing the equation, which is death, okay? So to replicate, to then die, there's no purpose in that, okay? You can't find purpose in that because there is no purpose in that. Death, rebirth, death, replicate, for the sake of replication of the DNA molecule, to replicate. That does not sound like a purpose to me. That sounds like a fucking function. This has a function, right? My headphones, these have a function, okay, and they have a purpose. To play sounds. For me, so I can hear these sounds, and everyone else around the environment can't hear the sounds, right? So that has a purpose, you could say that our purpose for our the dick and the vagina is to reproduce, to have an offspring. That's the purpose of the fucking dick and the pussy, right? But as human beings, as sentient beings, as people living and stuff like that, life itself, there's no fucking purpose, okay? Why the fuck are we here? There's no fucking damn purpose. And it's quite fucking obvious that there's no purpose in this goddamn world. I mean, we make it up, you see some of these PUAs and stuff like that saying, "Oh, find your purpose," and stuff like that. I mean, that's like right there. It's a comedy right there, right? Because the fact that you have to find your purpose, and it just proves that there is no purpose. The fact that you have to actually find it is just hilarious to me. But so yeah, and so people get that easily mixed up, right? With meaningless. And so, well, clearly that's wrong because pain, right? I pinch myself. Why the fuck's it hurting? There's meaning in that, okay? These receptors that go to my brain and stuff, pain. That fucking hurts. Why the fuck can I pinch this and it has no pain receptors and all that, right? Every sentient being on this planet, and it's not coming from my perspective, that's just the objective reality. Every sentient being, if you have a brain, you will feel pain and pleasure. And that is a part of reality. And you're saying, and you're arguing that that's not a part of reality. Okay, prove it. Prove it that pain and pleasure does not exist. Because right here, it even says in the philosophy term that nothing in the world has a real existence. Nothing in the world has a real existence. It does not say anything about the universe and stuff like that. And if you want to even bring that up, we can talk about the universe and stuff like that. The fact is that we are the only evidence of any sentience that feel, right? There's no feeling in Mars. There's no feeling in Pluto. There's no feeling in, that's so, a lot of people want to argue this whole thing, saying it's from the universe perspective. No, that's bullshit. It's not the universe perspective. That you have to be describing just one perspective, the reality that we're living in, the fucking world we live in. That's the reality I'm trying to describe, and that's philosophy. That's what I'm doing. Okay, it's not mumbo jumbo. Let me make shit up. No, I'm being honest, and there's no reason for being butthurt and stuff like that. If you feel attacked, that oh wait, but I believe in nihilism. I mean, you could be a cynicism, you could be negative and stuff like that. You could be pessimistic and stuff like that. I'm all that shit, but I'm not a nihilist because I understand that feelings matter and that's and comfortability matters and stuff like that. That's the only thing that matters in this fucking goddamn world. And that's the only thing that pushes us to the next day. If we have no feelings, if we didn't feel, if we had no negative feelings or positive feelings, we would not move. We would be in a constant state of just confinement and stationary movement. We would not be moving to the next day. There would be no reason to. Nothing would be pushing us. This is a push-averse universe. I mean, you can go as small as the molecule, the atoms and stuff like that, and they're just pushing, There's no pull in this world, and that's what I'm trying to get at, and that's the description of reality. So this is the wrong answer. And let me go to the comments now and bring this one comment up right here. So living is a biological compulsion that's why it goes on. No, it's not that it's a biological compulsion. It's a function. It's a biological function. It's not a compulsion. You don't... people know the difference between sex and procreation. It's only a biological compulsion for, I would say, probably animals, right? Because, of course, they don't have intelligence, right? But for human beings, but he also says here that living is a biological compulsion. I don't think it's a compulsion. It's just, we're basically no different than robots. I mean, we are just machines that are operating with programs, in our brains, and that's it. And so some are malfunctioned brains and some are not. Some are functional brains and they can think and they can use logic and reason and not emotion to think about, the reality that they're in, and the state of comfortability that they're in. And so And then this person goes on and says, uh, so that's why it goes on, not because of that it has any meaning. Life has no objective meaning. Well, that's bullshit, okay? There's objective meaning, okay? Pain and pleasure, that's a meaning, okay? That creates meaning. My meaning in life is through all the pain and torture and all the suffering I went through, but all the pleasure I went through as well, and that's what created me. That gives me meaning. That gives meaning to anyone in this planet, any sentient being, And how's that coming from my perspective when I'm not looking at my perspective? That's the perspective of this planet, this entire reality that we're in. Any meaning you assign is relative and subjective. No, it's not. It's not subjective. A person with cancer is not a subjective fucking meaning. It's not a fucking subjective meaning. That person has cancer. That person has deficient white blood cells, so they can't fucking fight off the cancer. That is not a subjectivity right there. That's bullshit. Its purpose is to assign you to creating responses and incoming sensory data. The purpose of that is survival and procreate. No, that's our just function. That we're fucking machines, man. That's not our fucking purpose. Okay, a purpose is a reason for it to be even an existing, right? A purpose would have a reason for it to even be existing. Why the fuck are we here, right? Why? We have no purpose. All we do is shit, pee, poop, eat, sleep, wake up, do the same thing, rinse and repeat, procreate, and to die. Life and death. That's all life is. And what's the purpose of life and death? What's the reason in that? There is no fucking reason. It's all pointless. It's purposeless. That's the point I'm trying to make. And some of you people are not getting it. I don't know how you're not getting it. It's not that complicated. And this is where we meet nihilism. And there's no reason to believe that nihilism requires pro-moralism, lack of compassion, lack of action, lack of pleasure, or anything else. Now, I'm not saying you're lacking it. I'm saying that you don't believe it, that it exists. You believe in nothingness. That's what nihilism is that you believe that nothing matters. There's no meaning. You believe nothingness. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm saying that these things, compassion, pleasure, all this shit, they exist and they matter because it goes right back to the comfortability of the sentient organism, right? And how comfortable they are and what jeopardy they face. Also, there's no inconsumable whatever between the notion of God and nihilism. It just depends on your understanding of God. In fact, God could be... No, you cannot be... That does not make any sense. I'm sorry, but a God that's a nihilist just... Oh, shit. That just doesn't make sense. Okay, so let's say God is a nihilist, right? So then God rejects all religious and moral principles. I mean, come on, man. That doesn't make any sense. That's fucking babble talk right there. I mean, that's psycho talk, whatever. And because nothing matters, well, just why not just have a bit of mass murder, animal holocaust, nuclear war, and people fighting over the color of someone else's skin? What the fuck? Oh, no, I skipped a bunch of this statement here. God could be nihilist, just mucking around for the sake of nothing more than passing the time. I mean, come on, that just doesn't make any sense. I mean, where's the logic in that? You're saying that, okay, God just came out of the blue and he's just walking around being a nihilist, saying nothing matters, and he created all this and said, and he believes in nothing. I mean, that sounds crazy to me. I'm sorry, but that sounds so fucking goddamn retarded. God damn, that's crazy. Now, let's go to another comment I saw that was very interesting here. This guy says, who are the people who say nothing matters and there's no meaning? Name one person who says that besides Nietzsche. Okay, so I'm saying it in a sense of, well, I've been seeing it in Discord servers. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been seeing it in a lot of Discord servers where I've been seeing a lot of these kids who claim themselves as being nihilists and stuff like that, but they're still kids and they don't really grasp. And I'm not trying to downplay because I was a kid at one point and I understand for majority part of what reality really is, you know, and but I too was a nihilist when I was a kid, you know. I mean, not a kid. I mean, like more of a young adult, right? But my perspective changed when I start actually understanding what philosophy really is, and I started actually looking at all these concepts and what really makes logical sense, and I came to the conclusion that the things that I'm fighting for and promoting and stuff like that is the only thing that really fucking matters, because it's prevention, and that's a fucking strong word to use, prevention, it's different from justice or revenge or whatever. No, prevention, preventing the bad to ever happen, a potential me coming back to this planet, to having to go through all this all over again, That's what I'm trying to prevent. That's why I believe in this shit, and that's why I take this stuff seriously, And nihilism is just a complete opposite of that. It's just saying fuck, fuck all these other philosophies that actually matter and that are important, because they're trying to promote prevention, That's very important. Not this, what's in it for me? Nothing matters. Who cares? Everyone's gonna die anyways. Like this kind of mentality is not going anywhere. It's not helping humanity. It's not helping fucking animals. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything productive. But just saying I give up and who cares and what's in it for me and this and that. And I don't agree with that crap. I just. And again, we can go back to the definition and stuff like that, Maintain that nothing in the world has a real existence, so. And I don't, that's bullshit. That's not reality. There is fucking real existence in here, We don't live in some kind of fucking damn matrix, This is a reality. This is the fucking bleak, cruel world we live in. This is fucking hell, This is the world I fucking hate every day waking up to, man. Because all there is risk and no play. There's always, there's always danger around the corner, man. And you have to, face that every fucking day as a challenge, And here, this guy, ad channel, whatever. I told him that the word nihilism, I told him to look up the word nihilism because a lot of these people do get this whole idea that like purpose and meaning are, they're basically the same thing, the same word, and you could use it, But it's not. They're, and again, I can look up the definition of nihilism, right? Or we could even look up the word meaning, right? To even get it more accurate, So let me do that really quick. Because I like to be honest. I'm not gonna be, hiding behind some propaganda or like agenda here. What is meant by a word, text, or concept or actions? See, so that's meaning. So pain and pleasure, that's meaning because that's a concept. And that could even be an action too, right? A broken leg is dangling all over the place. That has meaning, okay? That's right here. It says it right here. And you're saying that reality is meaningless? When that's bullshit. There is there's words, there's concepts, there's actions that have meaning, that have implications. So, I'm not trying to get super heated up, but like this is something to take seriously. I mean, this is no joke. I mean, every day there's fucking horrible things happening every day in this planet. It's not coming from my perspective. This is the reality we live in. We live in a fucking brutal, horrible, fucking cruel world we live in, man. And I'm not. If you're a nihilist, good for you and stuff like that. If you believe in that and that works for you and that helps you cope through this reality, fine. Whatever. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're not fucking, being a maniac and saying nature knows best and you're creating a life, whatever. Be a nihilist and do your own thing, whatever. You know, I'm not going to tell you how to think, but I'm just presenting my, what I see here, and with the evidence I have, Um, so, but again, this guy here, sorry, my camera work is so bad, but this guy saw, I told him that I'm arguing that nihilism is not a good description of reality, right? And so this guy then responds to me saying, "No, I don't have to look up the definition when you're the one using the word." Like, dude, okay, I'm not actually. I'm not going to actually watch your video again. Okay, that's fine. Do whatever you want. I'm not taking this shit like this is not a career. This is just all This is to me for me to vent. That's all my channel has always been. I don't take this shit serious. I'm not trying to make a career out of this crap. I'm just finding the fight. I'm just I'm just trying to, describe reality, and this is the world we live in. It's a stupid world we live in, man. It's brutal. And so he then says here, but you said in your video that there are all these people saying these things. Yes, there are people that say these things. There's a lot of kids. There's a lot of young adults. There's adults that say all these things about nihilism, and they're proud of it. They literally walk around with pride saying that they're nihilists, and there's nothing to be proud of it. You're literally getting it wrong. It's a wrong answer, and you're proud of a wrong answer. It's no different than and then again, I'm getting more interested in not only philosophy but also in physics and stuff like that, and it's very interesting when I'm looking at the arguments with momentum and kinetic energy, right? And again, this is the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Because kinetic energy, people that believe in kinetic energy think that there's a possibility of infinite energy out in the universe, basically, and that it's possible that you can get twice the energy, for free, while momentum is basically the idea that that the universe is basically a push universe, right? And that an object does not have any pull energy, pull effect or whatever. It's more of just a push. Everything in this universe is just pushing each other, and that's it. When it comes to the atoms and just big masses, that's all momentum is, or MV as the equation they use. So it's this is the same thing, the same idea, the same arguments, the same almost very similar scale, right? Because nihilism is like the opposite of what an ethicist believes or what an anti-nihilist believes. So, but at the end of the day, they do come to similar conclusion that life sucks. And you can argue that even with people that believe in MV and kinetic energy and stuff like that, as sad as it is when it comes to the fact that these intellectuals, you think that they would be very honest, but a lot of these people that believe in these high intelligent discussions, when they're actually pretty dishonest, it's kind of it's tragic, but this is the planet we live in. We even if people, two very smart people with different ideas discuss with one another, they can't even get to the same conclusions. It's so crazy. I mean, gotta work together and fit the puzzle pieces together and make it make sense, and I just don't see any sense in nihilism. It just doesn't give me the answer that I'm looking for. It's not the truth, So yeah, it's gonna be a long video. I'm not trying to make this personal or whatever, but these comments, I'm just seeing them and I'm just like, this is just amazing. It's just amazing that you make the arguments and they're not getting it, and I don't know how else to say it. I mean, wish you guys luck, and I mean, I'm never going to be able to convert every Christian into a atheist. I'm never going to convert every, nihilist into, you know, to someone who really understands that there's meaning in this world, and sometimes just gotta wish the best for them. But I'm just saying that, and I'm not trying to make this personal. I'm not attacking you. I'm grateful that you came to give your comment and stuff like that. It's awesome. But at the end of the day, you're not making really any arguments. You're, if anything, you're quite using some ad hominems, and you're not really you're not really making any real arguments on nothingness. You're not giving any evidence that there's no meaning in life. You're just saying it's coming from my perspective when it's not coming from my perspective. It's the perspective of just this reality, okay? It's not coming from my perspective. It's not coming from my dog's perspective. There is fucking pain and there's pleasure in this world. You cannot come to the agreement with that I can't help you. I can't hold your hand, or I can't show you a broken arm. All these simple things I can show you, right? To get you to get it. So, but I mean, and here's another comment here. Many people say life has no meaning or nothing matters because they are viewing it from a bigger perspective, universal scale. But there's no fucking goddamn meaning or purpose in the universal scale. There's no point in looking at it in this way. That's not our reality. I mean, yes, that is reality, but that's not, the reality that we're living in, okay? We are living on this fucking planet where there's suffering and pain and torture, okay? And that's not, that is a bigger perspective, okay? That's not coming from my perspective. That's as a world that we live in. I'm not viewing it as an individual perspective. It's not coming from an individual perspective. That is reality, okay? There is meaning. There is pain. There is, all these things that create meaning, okay? And even you even mentioned here, right? There's no doubt that your pain and suffering will matter to you. No, it matters regardless. It doesn't matter if it's me having pain. It doesn't matter if that person over there is having pain or cancer or fucking torture. It matters regardless of where the person is. Or what it doesn't matter what fucking perspective. It matters. It's not that fucking difficult to understand. But you can enjoy things even if you're a nihilist. Of course, because it's what's in it for me. Yeah, it makes sense. And I'm not insulting their views. I'm arguing that their views. I'm making arguments, okay? I'm not saying you're a piece of shit, you're an idiot, this and that. I mean, yeah, I did through some insults, I will admit, but I'm not, I'm just trying to make an argument, okay? And we're trying to get an accurate description of reality. That's what I'm trying to get at, okay? I'm not trying to insult your intelligence or whatever. Let's just get this reality, as accurately and described as possible. We can't be just carelessly saying that doesn't matter and there's no meaning. But yeah, so I think that's all I'm gonna say, and yeah, so peace.